And at the end of everything, we will be standing.
Let me explain to you why it's always us, okay? Because we are punctual and on time. That's why it's always us.
Yep. We respect the people's time and punctuation.
I don't know if I'd say I respect people's time. I mean, yeah, I kind of do, but it's just more of like a personal, like, I don't shit my pants and I brush my teeth and like, I don't know, I'm going to be on time. I guess that makes me an exceptional American in today's world.
I know. I mean, I'm an exceptional European, I guess. I had to put in effort to show up late on dates because I know that most girls are not punctual. But I always am. I'm always like 5 minutes early or whatever, and I know that girls like a douchebag. So I had to like think of things to do so I would be late.
It pisses. See, there's like universal rules that make society work better. Being on time, being civil and polite towards one another, right? And it would be great if everyone just did that. But you're right. You got to say, okay, wait, this may be good if we all get on board and have follow the golden rule, but some people do not respond to the golden rule. Like, yeah, you have to be late with it. Like, to be honest, like, let's say, girls are always going to be late to a date or will tend to be late to a date. It actually is in your benefit to be late no matter what. Even if you love being punctual, you have to do that. Same thing with treating them poorly, not like absolute shit, but yeah, it's hard, especially if you're a disciplined, ethical person. You have to, or for example, discipline. No one responds to the carrot. People only respond to the stick.
Oh yeah.
And it takes a lot more energy to be angry and want to mete out punishment than it does like, oh, hey, let's get an ice cream and be friendly and all. Like, no, it's
the same what you did with Paul's book. You bashed it, and now he's going to write a better one.
Because it needed. Did you hear his lame? Did you hear Paul's?
That's what I think about your review.
What's really hard about making a review about why you hate someone's book when you're the kind of person who's like, I genuinely like this book, and I like the person who wrote it. It's like, now you really got to nitpick. You're like, okay, like it's missing the fucking page numbers. Like that's the worst thing I could think of that book. I was like, that's the worst thing.
I don't give a lot of reasons for people to dislike my books. I make sure they come out. But isn't that the art of men? Is we take good men and we skew them anyway? Like, come on, you could have come up with something like,
you gotta roast them a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like an author with a small penis wrote this book. You could tell because of the font
but how
choice
would I know that? That's the that's the question. That's the kind of question I would get in the comments. And I'm just trying to avoid that kind of thing.
It's just a typical female shaming tactic because a man with that font, only a man with a small dick would use that
small
font.
Dick energy.
Who hurt you? You used Embrya as a font. Who hurt you when you were a kid?
You must hate your mother. Have you ever had that one?
Oh yeah, but that's what I was going to ask. Have you guys even heard those? I haven't heard them in years.
Heard what?
Well, any of these.
Oh no,
I have a small penis. Really?
No, not the small dick one, but the one you truly hate women. You must really hate women. It's like, what?
I get a lot of that kind of. I'm a misogynist, fucking incel shit all the time. I just that video I did with Taylor Swift. I'm getting that all in the comments from all the Swifties. Yeah,
you did a show with some OnlyFans model or something.
Oh, you mean like 2 days ago?
Well, yes, there was a girl she's an OnlyFans girl. She has her own podcast, and she reached out to me through Podmatch. I'm on Podmatch to get on more podcasts, and she's like, "Hey, I want to talk to a red pill guy, and I saw your profile, and I thought you'd be good for the show." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Podmatch, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, what I like about Podmatch costs money though. It's like 30.
Oh, never mind, gay.
But you can do Matchmaker FM is another site. It's free.
Is this like dating for podcasters or something?
Yeah. It matches guests with hosts and stuff like that.
I think it's a clever idea.
Okay, what was the other one?
Matchmaker.fm.
Matchmaker.fm.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the when I first started the podcast, when I started getting more guests on, I was getting guests from matchmaker.fm to have more guests on stuff. That's how I met Eric Everhart. He was a podcast guest on there.
How'd your show go with the influencer or the OnlyFans girl or whatever she was?
It was good. It was really good because she had this sort of misconception about what Red Pill was based on Fresh and Fit and stuff like that.
A woman with the wrong perception of Red Pill?
You could come on. You could kind of forgive him. I mean, based on, I think Paul's a good representative. Like he'd be a good emissary.
Yeah, I try to
before they get to us.
Yeah, and so she really liked what I had to say about it, and then what I told her about. She's like, "Oh, I'll never go on their show." And I go, "You should. You should go. You should."
Is she gonna reach out to me? Is she blonde?
No, she's a black girl.
Okay, I'll make an exception.
I don't know if you Dutchies like the chocolate, you know, the chocolate milk. I
can get with it. I ain't complaining.
Yeah,
I ain't complaining.
She was an attractive girl though. She was an attractive girl, very cute, very naive, you know. But
you know what? Send her my way. Be like, you know what? If you want a different representation of what the Red Pill is, who's a little bit more snarky, sarcastic, and devilishly handsome, this guy.
Go see Jack Napier. Yeah. So, but I told her, I go, you know, you need to go on Fresh and Fit. I go, because all you have to do is just play the game.
Name 3 countries.
I go, you go on there, they give you some White Claws, you act stupid, you're going to get 1,000 new subscribers.
I have report from the field.
Okay.
You guys know I was on Fresh and Fit like 2 days ago or 3 days ago.
So I've heard.
So they're in Vegas and they filmed it over at Rollo Studio. But I mean, it was all simulcast. So I have been on these shows before, but I don't know what it was this time. But the women were absolutely atrocious, and it was such an experience. I'm gonna send you guys. I'll tag you in a tweet because there's things that need to be said and lessons to be pulled from there. But one of the main things I learned is it's not an act for. I'd say the majority of these girls. The majority of these girls are that stupid.
Oh yeah,
they are that dumb. Like I was, there's like, how close is the needle of reality to TikTok girl behavior? Like, okay, they're doing it to agitate and provoke, and I am now more convinced that the needle is closer to TikTok girls are more real and represent women than not. Because and I asked a couple of the guys, like, well, I went hiking with Fresh yesterday. I said, were those girls real, or are they just putting on a show because they know they're on Fresh and Fit? He's like, no, dude, they're all like that. And you could just see, like, I know they give Fresh and Fit a lot of guff. Those guys are in every penny. I couldn't imagine they do 3 shows a week with these girls. I can't. That's a hell. It's a fucking hell.
I just remember the first time you were on Access Vegas and you were just sitting next to one of those chicks like this, just the whole time. Like, why did you drag me here, Rollo?
I have that experience, except in stereo. This last time, because there's 2 girls and they're arguing with each other, and I'm in the middle, and we're all sharing a microphone. It was fucking hell, and they're just, dude. I'm also very thoroughly convinced now that you cannot be a very attractive woman and be sane. You just can't. These women, like, one was in her 30s and she's acting like a 12-year-old coo-ha-ha. So it was traumatic. I'm suffering from PTSD, and I am convinced it's even, if you guys could believe it, I'm even more pessimistic about women than I was before. So
I really think I'd have the time of my life. I was like, oh, these people are insane. Let's fucking go.
I'm going to tag you guys in a video later on. You just watch a 30-second clip of me being stuck between these 2 idiots. And you would want to end your life right there.
I would want to be there. I would want to see you suffer in real life. Hey, Nuke.
Hey, Nuke.
What's up?
Happy birthday, Nuke.
You know, Cappy,
Thank you.
if these women were smarter, they wouldn't have to do OnlyFans. They wouldn't have to do this type of stuff. You know what's funny is there's a gal that I'm actually friends with. We go running every once in a while, and she's talking about how she wants to sell underwear online. She wants to like do sell
pics and stuff.
Crap online. She has a new boyfriend now. She wants to do OnlyFans with him and stuff, like do sex content. I go, you don't have to do all this stuff. All you got to do is be a woman and then talk about red pill shit, and people are going to throw super chats at you. Look at Sarah Dawn Moore, right? Sarah Dawn Moore.
I'll look her up right now. Who is Sarah Dawn Moore?
She's not a bad lady. I was on her first live stream. Guys were sending her $600 super chats. One guy sent her 5 consecutive $100 super chats.
What the hell?
Just for being you, and thank you for talking about guys' issues. And it's like, you don't have to sell the feet pics, lady. Just talk about how women are trash and be a woman.
Is this the young black gal? Is this the young black gal you were talking about?
No. Sarah Dawn Moore is the link in the private chat. That is her. That's the OnlyFans girl. Sarah Dawn Moore is more respectable. She's tries to talk about.
Okay, let me take a look here.
Crap, I don't know.
I'm not gonna log in. This is just being a pain in the ass. This is.
Oh God, no, this is not my thing. This is not my thing, Paul.
But even more than to Paul's point, if she's not exceptionally attractive, she just has to say the right thing, and she makes the money.
Yeah.
What's her name? Sarah Dawn Moore.
Sarah Dawn Moore. Yeah, she's got. God, I think 500,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Jesus
now.
Christ!
Holy!
Oh, shit. I know this chick.
Yeah, we used to be acquaintances, and then one time I made a video, or I was doing a podcast with like more of a MGTOW guy who doesn't like her, and we started talking about her, and I was like, well, she's smart, she's using her sexuality to attract the simps, like get your bag, sis. And she hated that because she's like, I'm trying to be a genuine coach here. And she got so mad at me for basically saying what was really happening, which is like, no, guys are throwing money at you because you're relatively attractive and you're talking about guys' issues, and guys just so much want a woman that understands them that you're profiting off of it. It's not
it's Paul, even that, like, to show you the lack of empiricism, which I had to sustain at the Access Vegas. Even this gal who is maybe not a 10 that you're talking about, I still haven't seen what she looks like. That delusion.
Mm-hmm.
They have life on such easy mode. They think that, but I'm a coach. It's real work. It's like, no, you got lucky. They can't comprehend that.
Cappy, you feed into it. You feed them.
I know, but it shows you there are natural God program or nature program limits. You could give them the keys to the kingdom. Look, you're a pretty girl. All you need to do is show up on time, wear a cute dress. They won't do it. They won't. And you can bang your head. Like, dude, you are 2 steps away from literally, like, give me anyone here. Mark my words. Quote me and chop this up into a short. Give me any woman who is a 7 or above in this country, and I can make her a millionaire probably within a year. And we're not talking like you go to med school. It's like, be cute, shut the fuck up, don't put shit on your nose, have a normal hair color, and do this little thing like Paul, hey, be a conservative type or whatever. And over the course, you will become a millionaire. And they can't do it.
Do you know that girl? I think I told you this story about the tech nerd. She did computer engineering. Kim
PhD. Commando?
No, this was it. She was a very attractive girl, and she had the goods, sort of say. She had the goods we like. You know what I mean. But she did computer engineering or whatever, and she had this YouTube channel. And all of a sudden, she made a video, I'm quitting my PhD to do OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. Because, she was pretty good looking. You know what she did?
Porn.
With the attention she got from, like, this PhD student is quitting to go to OnlyFans. She used that to garner attention to, like, her Pornhub account and OnlyFans account, and all she made was computer science videos.
No.
Yes.
Oh, that's
fucking
cool.
Brilliant.
Neural network videos, yeah.
Neural network, yeah. Absolute
cool. That's
brilliant.
A cool gal.
YouTube pays you $304 per million views, and Pornhub pays you $1,000 per million views.
Why aren't we live streaming on Pornhub, by the way? Colebug has been bugging me with this, where it's like, go stream on Pornhub.
It's another username and password.
You already have one.
No,
there's just one hurdle.
There's one hurdle.
There's
Just
one
like
hurdle to get over posting on the hub. You know what it is.
Oh.
We all know what it is.
Wait, what is the hurdle?
Really?
I don't know what it is. What do you guys actually
It's
have
illegal
to
in
be
Texas.
naked?
I can't use Pornhub in Texas, so
Yeah. Nobody could be at work watching Rule Zero with the big hub on this thing. What are you watching? No. It's a podcast. About what? Oh, they're talking about OnlyFans.
Nah,
Like,
Right,
You're fired immediately.
Imagine explaining to your boss, "Hey, why are you on Pornhub all day long? I'm watching Rule Zero. Okay, I'm really trying to learn about intersexual dynamics."
Paul, you
Yeah.
know that video of if men would run HR?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, you guys go talk. I'll go find that video and send it to
Wait,
Paul.
are you
It's
actually
fucking-
expecting me to know how to show this on my channel?
Yeah. No, I don't need to show it to you guys.
He
I'm just
doesn't
sending
even
it to
know
Paul,
how
but it's
add
hilarious.
page numbers. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, the first gendernomics didn't have page numbers either, just to make
No,
Cappy feel
Did
good.
it not?
No,
It did?
the first gendernomics doesn't have page numbers.
Why did he just forget to put him in there?
I think he did. It's still a great book.
Yeah, no, I
well, I know Illimitable Man did his graphic design and desktop publishing for the book because he didn't know how to do it. And I hated. I gave him a cover for free because I'm like, dude, this whoever did this for you, it looks like a '90s science textbook.
The
Get that
purple
shit
one?
out of here. Yeah, with all the bubbles in that. And
I
was like,
still
oh,
have that.
really.
I have the physical copy of that. Let me get it. I want to
Oh
get
man,
it. I want to
like I would rather have one of Clary's MS Paint covers that just says, "What's the minimum viable product to release to the world?"
Wow. Okay, hey, you know what? I'm proud of my Microsoft Paint skills. Okay,
Dude, you've ultimately made it like it's almost got a style and a charm to it now. Like you made MS Paint a thing. I actually am impressed. It is pretty cool.
so
Here it is. This is the copy I used to narrate
That's
the
the one.
audiobook with.
That's a pretty serious book.
Yeah. It's a thick boy.
Yeah. No, I heard your rebuttal video, Aaron, and when you were talking about the pain in the ass it is to put the numbers using Word, I was like,
Yeah,
no,
on both pages.
I know exactly what he's talking about because that took me like 3 hours to figure out. But you can do it in Word, but they make it extremely hard.
Yeah, but
you're
that's
not
where
wrong.
it's for anyone who's like an author. Don't worry, we'll get to the topic, ladies and gentlemen. But anyone who wants to be an author, there are just some shortcuts that you can take that people don't care about. They're not going to notice, like odd and even page numbers, or the page numbers don't start on chapter 1, or even like the cover. If it's not perfectly centered, no one cares. And I think that's the benefit of us largely having a male audience. Like guys, like they just don't care what's the content. So you could get away with a little bit more than you think. And if you get away with those things, you save yourself a tremendous. Because Paul, it was about 3 hours on one of my first books trying to get the page numbers to show up. And after a while, like, yeah, fuck it, it's not worth it. It just isn't worth it.
When I was
I'm gonna
working-
have to give you guys a tutorial on Quark Express to teach you this is all like an automated tradecraft with just like a little purchase in software. Save yourself tons of time.
Is Quark a publishing?
Yeah, it's desktop publishing is what they call it. It's kind of like it does newspapers, pamphlets, anything that you have to do that's printed. It's layout.
I learned about orphan pages this last time. I don't know why Microsoft Word decided to do it this year, but have you guys done orphan pages?
No.
Do they actually like you mean as in like the blank pages it just adds into spaces to line up your chapters on the right side?
No, that's a template. So you download a template from Amazon to off center so the spine is in the middle.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's like big empty spaces at the bottom of every page. And some person who I wish to do things to and keep alive so I could keep doing things to them decided for whatever reason to put in orphan controls, and I have no idea what it's for, but it assumes you don't know what you're doing, and I'll help, let me help. It's like having a woman who's helping and just fuck shit up, and so now you have to remove orphan control. Look it up. Remove orphan controls so that your text goes all the way to the bottom. That was an hour endeavor. That's an hour I'm never getting back. And again, I wish I could find the person who said, you know what? Let's add orphan controls as the default. I wish to keep you alive, so I might do things to you for long periods of time until I feel satisfied that I have gotten my pound of flesh.
Yeah, dude, I'll teach you this. It's all automated. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. The gutters, the margins, you don't have to do that manually. It'll do it automatically for you. The page numbering, orphan control, hyphenation, all that stuff. Oh, dudes. All those little details you can say you can do shortcuts around. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Well, we do have a topic today. I've had a bad week. It was already I wasn't a horrible week, but it was a testing week, and then I went on Access Vegas, and that was enough for me to crack my soul and break my spirit. But at Asshole Consulting, I had 3 guys come in, and I realized that we could talk. How long have we been doing this? 20 years now, like in one form or another.
For you, I think I'm the second most tenured, and it's been 6 or 7.
But I mean, the red pill has been around for a while, right?
Oh yeah, that
typing?
part.
Jack, are you typing?
No,
that's probably me.
Okay, mute it.
That's right.
Don't type. Right. So we got 20 years, and I'm still getting clients, right? Like Asshole Consulting is kind of a barometer. Like, are the fish biting? And I'm getting tired of getting kind of the same questions where there's no apparent progress being made. So I have one guy who want to know about leg extension, right? Like, it's like, okay, no, don't do that. I got another guy who wanted to get the girls. So I'm going to get a motorcycle, and his entire strategy of getting the girls was getting a motorcycle. And I had a third guy who was dating an older woman that lied to him, and his strategy was just to date an older woman who was using him for a green card. And the fact that he was younger, it was a train wreck looking at all these. And I think what we need here for the community is kind of a finalized, what is the best way to get to girls? Because the way these guys, and obviously then millions of other men are chasing these girls, is damaging. Like, have you guys looked at leg surgery, like what's involved and what's required?
Oh, yeah, you do not want that. South Park made a whole joke about it, making Kyle into a basketball player. That did not end well.
Exploding knees, yeah.
Yeah.
Classic episode.
It's not. In other words, these guys are in their desperate. What they're desperately trying to do is avoid any kind of work that will actually get them the women, and they're ruining their lives in the process. And so I thought, to the benefit of men, this will be the epitomal video on how to get the girls. And gentlemen, what is the best way to get the girls?
To work out and ask them out.
That's the individual. What is of all the okay? There's leg length. Let's go through the ways. Leg lengthening.
No.
I get a motorcycle.
Sounds painful just saying that. It sounds so painful.
Nuke, have you looked up the process?
I don't want to. It's got to be worse than the A word process. I don't want to. I don't. Medical procedures that look painful, I don't look at because I just cringe the whole time.
It's horrible. I'm talking the overall strategy, okay? There's like numbers game. You just ask girls out, ask girls out, ask girls out. Mm-hmm. There's become the best version of yourself, which is the correct way. But I'm aiming for an overall philosophical point. There's the I'm going to become a doctor and I'm going to get the money. I guess there's money game. But what's the best way to get women?
You talk about the qualities versus like intrinsic things, like surface level versus internal. So the best way to have it, like best. What do you mean by best? To get laid, or to get a girlfriend, or get a wife? Like
all
best?
the above. To get women, what is the best overall strategy? I know there's individual actions we can
be the best. Be the incentive.
Thank you, Ryan. It's become irresistible. Now that thumbnail I found, like that thumbnail is awesome. Well, maybe not the thumbnail, but the picture is. But like, Jason Statham, you guys know who he is?
No, yep. Never heard of him.
Yeah, it's Rivellino's boyfriend. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Whose boyfriend?
Rivellino.
I don't even know who Rivellino is.
That's a nice Twitter reference right there.
Yeah, it's a Twitter reference, Cap. You wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't get it.
I'm not down with the hip kids, y'all.
You wouldn't.
Well, who's the girl? Does anyone know who the girl is? She just some thought.
That's his girlfriend. That's his longtime girlfriend. They've been together for years. Yeah.
Yeah, look at her. Like, there you go.
She's gorgeous. Yeah.
That's the strategy. How much effort does Statham have to put in to get that girl to like cook him dinner or do anything nice for him?
I mean, all the effort was done before they met, right? Like, he had to become a movie star and jacked, and
I think that's what Cappy's point is, right? He put the work in. Like, he goes to the gym. He's in shape. He
bald.
he's bald. Fuck yeah. He dresses well. You know, he's got that cool voice that, you know, he's got the whole dominant masculine presence thing going down. Shout out to Thor.
Learns how to dress. He's he's a good dresser. Like of all the Hollywood celebrities, besides like George Clooney and David Beckham, that guy knows how to dress. Like I've never seen him look like a slob ever.
Yeah, if you look at the picture, who's doing all the work now? Who's doing the heavy lifting?
The girl's chasing him around. Yeah,
there you go. That's the strategy. And I would even argue so much that that's the only strategy, because I'm sick and tired of everybody else trying to avoid the hard. Now, can we all become Jason Statham?
No, because I
all
don't
right?
have hair loss.
Right, and we're not as bad at. Let's just.
Oh,
be
I
honest.
could. Yeah.
And I'm taller than he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he's not even 6 feet tall. Like
No,
He's
he's
not even a
not.
real man, like Ryan Stone.
He's not even a real man.
So here's, now that we know because I'll stand on this hill. We've wasted a tremendous, not us, but the community, Red Pill, whatever. We've wasted a tremendous amount of time, especially like I would say the groom maxing type of shit. Anything with maxing at the end of it, it's all bullshit. All right. Everyone is trying to find the easiest way. And can I wear cufflinks? What kind of hair product should I put in? And da. It's like, no, the only strategy I'm going to argue is that you must become irresistible, because once you achieve like that critical mass, who does all the work?
The girls.
And do you think that girl gives him any fucking bullshit?
I mean, probably. That's what girls do.
Well, if he
A lot less than what you're expecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but if he knows how to handle the bullshit well, it's almost like effortless, right? It becomes
And
a habit.
that's what we should also talk about, is the inner work that you have to do, because there's a lot of what does Rollo call them? Blue pill alphas that.
Oh,
did
yeah,
all the work.
those. Yeah.
And they can't say no to their wife, and they're literally like a Hall of Fame athlete or A-list actor. It's just
Ryan,
they neglected one of the most important parts, like being afraid of your girl's emotions. You think Tom Brady, when Giselle was having a breakdown, he probably just left and went to the field. That's probably what Tom Brady did. He didn't address it. He didn't have he didn't have any boundaries. He just said, "What am I doing? I could just go play football," and that's it.
Oh, dude, how many guys work like 60-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks just because they get to avoid their family at the office?
Oh yeah.
Every
sad.
chief in the Navy, every chief in the Navy will not let us go. And I'm like, he hates his wife. I bet you he does.
Right.
It's
This
so
is
sad.
where I recommend Ryan's second latest book, the Praxeology, the third one. That's why I recommend that, because there's some examples in there. But let's now that we've established, unless you guys disagree, because I don't think the average male on this planet has the time to go through it like the average male does, where I'll be nice and I'll cajole and argue and negotiate and beg and plead, and then she'll finally settle for me when she wants. Like, no, we don't have time for this. But we all agree that is generally the best thing, where you become the best version of yourself you possibly can, and then a girl is naturally attracted to you, and now you avoid 95% of the bullshit. Agreed?
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you guys ever read any of Grant Cardone's stuff? Or you guys know who Grant Cardone is?
I
though, right?
do know who he is.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Hang on,
Yeah.
Thor. Let me say, Thor. We're all. I'm gonna. What am I gonna do? Can you come back in? Your camera is just.
I think he's got to be messing with something right now.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
okay,
just put
I'm
him
gonna-
backstage while he does that. But
Move from stage. Or I'll put it right there.
yeah, Grant Cardone, he's like he's a sales guru, right? If you want to learn anything about sales, he's a decent guy to learn from, I guess. But he has a book called I can't remember, Sell or Be Sold or some shit like that. Anyway, he tells the story about how he met his wife, and he basically hounded her for an entire year. He would call her like every couple, like every week for an entire year, just like begging her to go on a date until she finally broke down and went on it. And he talks about it in his book like it's a success story about how persistence pays off and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, that is the cringiest fucking story I've ever heard in my life.
It's like Jordan Peterson.
And Ben Shapiro.
Oh
and
my
all
And
these-
God.
And
And
Linda B.
probably
Johnson.
Matt Walsh.
Linda B. Johnson as well. I believe it's the same story. Just kept hounding his future wife.
that's not a success story, right?
No.
That's not. She basically caved, and she's like, "Oh fuck, leave me alone. I'll go on a date with you, right? I'll let you buy me some drinks." But a good strategy is being that guy where you have to do a little bit. You have to get the ball rolling, right? You have to start getting the conversation going. You have to ask her on a date, but you want to get her so interested that she's like, God, I like this guy. And she starts reaching out. And then when she reaches out, your only job is to set up the next date, right? And she's chasing you. And women, the way the women chase you, the way women chase you is they basically put themselves in your orbit saying, God, I hope this guy asks me out again, right? Like that's
one of the hardest things like for men is that they don't realize their value. They think that after you have to have sex, they have to continue to pursue and all that. And it's just like, no, like, like I'm not saying be a, like completely make her work, crawl through the glass to get to you. But at the same time, stop with this anxiety about like whether she likes you or not. She had sex with you. Okay, cool. Now move on. If she wants to hang out, you say, hey, let's hang out Tuesday or Thursday. If she says yes or no, guys complicate themselves way too much. Guys love complicating their lives. They just love it. They can't help it.
What was that old Rich Cooper quote?
Men love to complicate their lives and justify why. Yeah.
Something like that.
If you look at that picture, it says 1,000 words. What I love about it is you don't see the work that Statham put in. I mean, you see it in his finalized form, but
after his final transformation.
Yeah, and here he is. He's just standing there, and you look at the girl. It's like, look, guys, how easy do you think that is now? Like, there's no argument. There's no questioning. She doesn't nag him. Like, she's like, this is the guy. I'll do anything for him. And it's just so much simpler. It's just so much simpler that way. That also, I'd say it's the only way to do it.
Guys got to learn how to take rejection too. That's the big. A lot of what men do is they have all these strategies. They think it's strategies that'll help them, but it's honestly just trying to buffers against rejection, right?
So like the old call her a lesbian when she leaves you kind of thing.
That's my first strategy. I call her before we start.
Like guys will make a lot of money, which is good, but like then they're like, okay, I have the money and I learn how to wear a suit. Where's the hose at? I'm like, well, you have to walk and say words to them. You have to, and then they also have this entitlement, and that's what kills a lot of men's ability with women is that this entitlement. Like, hey, she left out of my life. She owes me closure. And I'm like, does she? Like,
closure's overrated.
She doesn't care about you, dude. She's long gone. Like she was gone 6 weeks ago, but you want closure now? Like move on. But guys will do anything for that rejection to buffer against it.
For the benefit of the audience, now that we got the general strategy, let's go through the precise things that men need to do to achieve this strategy, because I think that'll be very beneficial. I'd like your guys' inputs. I'm going to start with
TRT.
TRT. We're not a fight.
More than
duct tape, rope, and a camera. Go.
Yes.
Outside of our charming traits of duct tape and drugs, the number one thing is to what?
Work on yourself and go to the gym.
Be in physical shape. Be physically attractive. Gentlemen, what percentage of the male population is even going to achieve that much?
Lower than 50%, lower than 20%.
Right. So I'm going to tell you all right now, for everyone listening, if you're not willing to do that, what should you do?
Quit.
Go to the gym.
Quit. No. That's not my reason. I'm not somebody's cheerleader. I want to make this very clear to the audience. You either go to the gym or you don't. And if you don't, you should shut up about women forever. It'd be easy on your life. So that's like the biggest first hurdle is the gym, right? Because do you want the girl to want to fuck you, or do you want the girl to have to fuck you? I guess would be a good way to put it.
Less than 5% of the male population can bench their body weight.
Wait, how much?
So let you guys know. Less than 5% of the population of the male population can bench their body weight.
I'm in the top 5%.
Really? It's that bad now. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
How many guys out there can do 20 push-ups? Just something simple.
I was in the Navy and I saw people that couldn't, and that's embarrassing. I would just walk away. I would be like, "Guys, you failed, dude. I can't sell this."
And the worst part is, you can't serve if you can't do it. Like that's part of the requirements. It was so funny.
I've had some of my legacy date coaching clients. I would ask them that. Can you do 20 push-ups? And they're like, no. I'm like, let's work on that. Like, don't forget the gym, forget lifting heavy. Like, let's just try to get you to 20 push-ups first, and then we'll worry about like lifting heavy.
20 is the minimum for the Dutch Navy, I believe. 20.
Here's the
That's
thing,
a
though.
lot.
It's not hard to get to a minimum standard of being a capable man. It just takes a few months of work, really. Like, if you can't, you could do, a dubbed version of P90X at your house. You know what I mean? If you're not ready for the gym yet, and if you could just do that for 60 to 90 days and work on yourself and work on just kind of being a person of competence, and then go start dating. Like the bar is low, guys. It's not like, so when Cabby says go to the gym, he's right. But a lot of guys will sit there in the audience and go, oh, so I guess I got to be a competitive bodybuilder to get girls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
it's very binary thinking. Yeah.
To not do
Well,
it.
that's one of the reasons why I created my basic diet and fitness mini course, because I was like, God damn, so many guys can't even do 20 push-ups. Like,
Is that the one I reviewed?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's so basic. It's like, just do this for a little while, right? Like, get into some basic shape,
I guess it makes sense. Like, I was kind of like, why is Paul doing a fitness course? No offense, you're a fit guy, but you're not an influencer in that stage.
For a runner. I mean, for a runner, he's pretty.
No, you're a fit guy. It's just, but I'm like, why is he like, because it's not your thing, but now it makes sense.
Yeah, it's because I have so many clients that just
anything.
They need to get in to just not be fat, right? Like, just don't be fat. And
I have to give Paul credit. I never thought he'd come to this.
Ooh.
But I went hiking with Fresh yesterday. White men can't jump, black men can hike. It's Paul, you are officially the second best hiker in all of the Red Pill community.
Oh wow!
I
better go pay you a visit, bro.
I think he just wanted to run fast because of your quarter heritage. He wanted to get away from that.
I had to run to keep up with Cappy at certain places. I'm like, Jesus fuck, God damn.
Fresh is. You got to take him hiking where there is no cell phone reception, because he'll be uploading everything to Twitter or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, put the fucking phone away. We got to get back before the sun goes down. You see the ball of light in the sky?
These millennials with their phones.
But back to the topic, I will say this. Yes, you don't all have to look like Drew Bay, but this is not like, okay, you go to the gym and you diet a little bit. I've seen a lot of guys at the gym. To achieve the critical mass, seriously, you got to be in the top 10% minimum of physical looks. So I'd even say you got to look good in your clothes. That's the minimum standard.
Oh, but that's not that hard.
Yeah,
you just buy a smaller size shirt
nowadays. Like, it's not hard to just
or child.
Well, see, but that's what I want to be very precise about here. It's not that hard, well, when 70% of men are overweight, it's not that hard to be in the top 30%. That's still not enough. Like, that is not a critical mass of plutonium. A little referential nuclear physics joke there for you, Nuke. It's not a critical mass to have a nuclear reaction. You need to have it where the girl's like, oh my God, I want to talk to that guy. And so if you work out 70% of what you have to, you don't come close enough. You just wasted 70% of your time. Where that is going to depend on your body and your physique, but you need to look good in clothes, like normal fitted clothes. And that is a harder hurdle than most people think.
Well, I think that's a good goal, but I don't know. I know a lot of guys. I've coached a lot of guys, and I have a lot of guys who get girls without having that critical mass yet. You know what I mean?
But our girls,
let me guess, they deal crack
at them.
They're not throwing themselves. They have to do the approach, and they have to talk to the girl and charm her a little bit. For sure. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, your mom was real easy. Once I got Jack to a certain point, your mom threw herself at me.
Yeah, my mom.
Well, that just means that game.
But I mean, you're obviously in shape. You do the hiking, so that's why she couldn't resist.
What was that, Nuke? Go ahead.
That just means that game, in the absence of everything else, game and charm will always win. It's always number one. However, why would you make it harder for yourself?
Yeah,
there's no reason not to work out. There's zero reason not to. So,
you're trying to sell a product, make the product as high quality as possible, so it's an easier sell.
And also, it's for you too. Yeah, it's mostly for you. Like, the gym is for you. Like, guys, it's not like at first it'll be like, wow, if I get big biceps, girls will like flock to me. But in reality, about 6 months in, you're gonna realize, wow, I feel better. I'm more awake and more alert. I'm less hungry all the time. Like you're gonna realize, wait, this was for me the whole time, and that's the point. It's to make you start that journey to be selfish and put yourself first and stop worrying about what other people think about you. It really is transformative experience.
Was that internal work you had to do? But you mentioned internal work before, in terms of achieving.
I know the guys aren't gonna like this, but 80% of for me to get good with women was internal work. About 80%.
Yeah,
and it was
that sort of leads me
So
to that sort of reminds me, one of the things Cappy says, like, what are the first things guys can do? And the first thing was gym, right? The second thing is a mindset, right? Like when you go out dating, a lot of guys are like, I'm trying to make this girl like me. If you have the mindset of, if you go out in the mindset that you're the buyer and you're like, I just want to see if I like this girl or not, like if she worth my time or not, that mindset shift by itself will pay dividends.
Well, and here's the thing too, right? So you think about mindset, really talking about confidence, right? So that's pretty basic, but confidence breeds itself from competence. You know what I mean? So like you try something you're not, if I'm gonna, let's say, learn how to play a game of pool, or billiards better or something, and I really have barely ever done it before, and you guys are all better than me, I have to have the confidence enough to try it, which means I have belief in myself that I could get better at this if I practice and try and learn. And so I have to have enough confidence at least to think that if I try this out, I can get better and then get what I want out of it. You know what I mean? And so it's hard because most of everybody, all of us here, even guys who are good with girls, you take more L's than you do successes. If you're talking about numbers, you're always, as a man, even the best looking guys out there will probably get rejected or have a breakup or have something not work out.
Can confirm.
It does. Now, the times that it works out, hopefully you're doing well enough with women that it exponentially is better when it works out and it negates all those losses. But you're dealing with a higher volume of losses, which sends the signal to the brain that you're not competent, which is why guys have confidence issues when it comes out to getting women. So you have to overcome this idea that, well, my past experiences have been rejection, but that doesn't mean I'm not capable of gaining competence. And that if I keep going out there, just like learning any sport that maybe I'm inherently bad at when I start off, if I just keep doing it, I'm going to get better. And there is no fairness. Like the amount of entitlement in people, both men and women, and just outright being pussies is amazing to me. To me, it's a real pussy move to be like, oh man, Paul Bauer's more physically fit than me. I'll never be like him. So I'm just not going to go to the fucking gym. You know what I mean? No, dude, like maybe I have genetic reasons I'm not as fit as somebody else or as good at something as somebody else.
It's a thyroid issue.
You have to work 3 times as hard as the guy with genetic advantages. Who the fuck cares? Life's not fair. That's the way it is.
And you have a strength. You have a strength that he doesn't have. There's like think of their strengths, play to your strengths too, right? So yeah.
Exactly.
I would say that that's like a number 2, or it's definitely up there. You gotta overcome cowardice.
Yeah.
What the percentage of men that are in the top 10% physically okay, that's one thing. That's going to the gym. I'm shocked. Maybe it's just because I'm from a different time, but I think most guys, and Thor and Paul and other Paul, well, yeah, Ryan, you're of the generation where like, yeah, you got shot down all the time. You just got over it. And I think that's a rarer and rarer trait that is mandatory. Unless you're a famous celebrity, that girl doesn't know you're Jason Statham.
Right.
So you do have to go and talk to these girls and at least get come up on her radar. And I think very few men do that.
Oh, I want to add on that. There's a prominent guy in the space. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to start beefs, but there's a guy who has a story about how he likes to take his girl to was it Jack in the Box late at night after going to the clubs and stuff, and then after they order whatever snacks they get there, as they leave, he goes, tell me what the guy at the cash register looked like. And she'll be like, I don't know. And he's like, see, 90% of guys are invisible to women, and so guys will hear that online and go, yeah, we might as well not even try. We're all invisible to women. And it's like, you know how you become visible to women? You talk to them.
Yeah,
like you walk up and talk to them, and now you're inserting yourself in her consciousness. It's not that hard.
Wait a minute. Paul, are you saying that when Nuke walks up to a woman, she doesn't immediately know that he was a nuke on an aircraft carrier and has an incredible IQ and intelligence?
You don't know that he's an influencer online?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Big,
You know
niche
what I
micro,
God.
internet micro celebrity. Okay.
Doesn't she know he has a Sheba? This
Well,
bitch.
It's a ride, right? Like there's gonna be one day where like a chubby whore is gonna like look at you in disgust, and the next day an 8 out of 10 is gonna be like,
Right.
"So, do you live around here?" Like guys got to get used to that, and that's what a lot of people, especially the conservatives, they forget that women have agency and they get to choose, and it's really most of the time being the right guy at the right time. You just got to meet the requirements, like smell good, have a shirt that fits you, and be like say hi to someone important in that scene and dance or whatever you're doing in that scene. And you'll realize that on a long enough timeline, you'll start getting women, but you have to like realize that you ain't shit. You're not that special, right? And there's really, you could do everything perfect and some other guy will take the girl you're interested in, or you could be absolutely show up to the bar in your work clothes and you could pull the hottest chick, right? So it's just like guys gotta really learn that there is no perfect guarantee or formula, you know.
I'll even one up it on this on more of a black and white critique numbers kind of deal. Every guy here is good looking except Jack, and
I knew it.
the majority of you, I guarantee, I'm gonna assume everyone has the same experience. The majority of the times you approached women and asked them out, you failed, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, if I even made it that far.
Yeah. Well, that's my point. Is
Yeah.
even exceptionally good-looking people, except Jack, we get shot down.
I never fail. You're right.
And what I'm saying is that's normal pre-internet days. And now that you have the horrible nightmare show that is TikTok girls and I hate men and all that.
Sure.
That
Higher volume of no's.
right. Well, digital.
Digital
in other words,
no's. Got a lot of digital no's.
The PR of the internet is worse than the real world. But
Yes.
when you will get shot down the majority of the time. You will. Troy Francis gets shot down the majority of the time. That is normal. That is in good days. The internet is almost like you got to ignore that, but you will get shot down. So you need to get used to rejection and you need to overcome your cowardice. And I think the highest, I don't know if it was Roosh or Troy, but I think their highest close rate was like 40%.
That's Troy. I remember. No, wait. Roosh, I said Roosh said 10% even.
Maybe
Or was
he's
that
talking
Royce?
getting laid. I'm talking maybe dates is like.
Is this
Okay,
date
dates
game?
40. I remember
Is this
Royce.
date
Indeed, could be like Royce or Roosh said 10% was the was that
sick.
like
That's
laid.
about what I had.
Yeah. Well, and you got to look at like the numbers are interesting because you'll get more on approaches if you know how to approach and build rapport quickly. Like you have some basic skills there. Like you're not complete like fucking weirdo when you come up to somebody. You're gonna get more positive results in the beginning than let's say 10 years ago, even 20 years ago, because girls are being approached less, number one, and number two, girls ghost. Like ghosting is more of a strategy now. So to avoid social repercussions, girls will give you phone numbers, exchange, social media, and Facebook not out as often as something like Instagram, where there's an insulator between her followers and you following her. Like Facebook, like you could stalk her and do weird things on Facebook and her family and friends would have to see, right? Whereas Instagram, like it's a little bit more personable because you're following someone else and they have to follow you. But the point is, like, they'll give you more of a positive. It's easier to actually now to approach and get positive results in the beginning. That doesn't necessarily translate to more dates at the end, but you'll get more phone numbers than people used to get. You'll get more positive exchanges. Do you know what I mean? What'll happen, it's just a question of what happens between that exchange and the first date. If that first date happens, that's where the magic is. And the numbers are about the same when you're talking about getting laid, I think, or getting that first date. But but my point in that is that it's actually easier now to approach guys who are worried that a girl's going to like flip out and embarrass them or just be like, ew, or no, like, or whatever they think is going to happen. It just doesn't happen.
It makes their week.
I've had guys argue with me on Twitter or X or whatever you call it now.
Of course they do.
Saying, if I go up and talk to a girl, they're going to call the cops on me. I'm like,
no,
it's not illegal.
Like,
to
that's
talk
clearly
to people.
somebody
You know that,
never
right? Like it's not a crime.
Unless you have like black Air Forces on, then maybe, but other than that.
Girls don't want to look bad, dude. Generally speaking, they don't want social repercussions. So they're going to be, if you're not coming across like a fucking weirdo, they're going to just be kind. And they may even be like, oh yeah, sure. Like, well, here, follow me on Instagram or something. You know what I mean?
Every girl that's rejected me in my neighborhood or at my gym, they're like, we say hi to each other every day.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how are you? How's the dog? Like, we see each other when we walk our dogs, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And it's just like they treat me like a person. Because, like,
what?
Yeah,
Really?
they rejected me, but like, yeah. But they're just like super chill. And
because you handle the rejection well, right? You're like, all right, you're lost, right? Like, I mean, you know what? The coolest example I've ever seen in a movie of a guy handling rejection well was
Scarface.
It was in a James Bond movie. And it's probably one of the worst James Bond movies.
No.
Die Another Day, the one with fucking Madonna in it. Like, there's a scene at the Ice Palace place where Bond goes up to what's her name, Miranda Frost or whatever, and he goes to hit on her, and she just shuts his ass down, and he just goes, oof, right? That's it, just oof, like, what's your problem, kind of thing, and then he just goes about his day and he fucks some other bitch, right? Like, that's that's how you handle that.
That's preferably her sister. That's what you want.
Men have to earn that kind of mindset. It takes time.
Yeah.
I did that once. Girl rejected me, made out with her sister. Felt good. Real good. Not gonna lie.
One of the best things I learned while dating was, if you're walking up and talking to women and asking for numbers, cold approach, as it were, and you're worried about rejection, just have a quippy comeback for something like that, right? That will make you feel a little more confident. So when she does say it and you go, okay, well, you're not going to be able to get me out of your head though, right? Like something like that will make you feel more confident because you're like, okay, if she rejects me, I got the zinger, like,
all right. I think we got this. I don't want to get to like, what's
it's something you have
zinger?
to earn that. Like,
yeah,
it used to be like, I would dwell on a rejection for like a week, and then now it's 2 minutes.
Yeah, I want to point out something because I do help a lot of guys on the pickup side too, right? Or trying to date. Is I know when a guy is going to start to be successful when he starts focusing on the wins and setting up like the things that went well and stops dwelling on the losses. So when a guy comes to a coaching call, he's like, well, I tried to talk to this girl and then she rejected me here. I tried to talk to that girl. Like the guy who's not quite turned that page yet, he's talking about all the girls that didn't work out, want to overanalyze that. The guys who are on the cusp of going over that hill and having an easier time with dates, they're not. I'll say, like, after they talk about a couple of things where that went well, I'll go, well, how many rejections you get? And they'll be like, oh, I'm not, there's a couple. This, like, it's not even in their head. You know what I mean? And so if the faster you can get there, the better,
So we got be in physical shape. Number 1, overcome cowardice. Don't lengthen your legs. Wasn't there a third one we already talked about?
Logistics.
Okay, Nuke. What are logistics?
Give
us the logistics, like asking more girls out, being in the right place.
I mean, if she has to drive 30 minutes and you have to drive 30 minutes, I know Paul lives out in the pasture. He has a course on it, guys. Get that course. But the closer you are to your place, the easier you have to have your second spot that's a little quieter. You have to, be in a part of town where there's, she doesn't feel like she's gonna get shot or something. There's so many things, and logistics really is. A guy has everything down but lives far away from where the fish are is not going to do as well as someone who has less game.
Okay, that's not so much on the person themselves.
Well,
right.
So
if
for
you
me,
have the
because I
opportunity to
live out in the middle of
the fish
nowhere,
are,
and I can't just plan dates around my house so I can get them back to my place quicker. A part of logistics for me was having a go-to place. Yes. I would always have one place where once I got that ball rolling and I was like, okay, cool. When are you free to get together? Great. Meet me at this place at this time. That way it's me making the plans. I never have to ask her, what do you want to do? What do you like to do? Because girls just want to show up looking hot. They want you to make the plan. So having that go-to place also allowed me to have muscle memory. I got to know the people there. I got to know the surroundings. I basically got to plan out, and every girl I took there, that was their first date. This was my 100th date. I've done this. I've ran this playbook on a bunch of girls. You know, if I like you, I'm taking you down the street to the Blue Moon. You know, like I know what I'm doing, and it takes all the guesswork out of it. I don't have to sit there and go, oh, what am I going to do now? It's like, okay, you know, and if I don't like her, it's over after one drink. Cool. Best of luck in your dating, and I can move on. You know,
I agree with those points so hard because
day of the week too. Like the weekends are not the best time for a date because, you know, everything's full. She probably has plans. You probably have plans with your people. It's like every player knows a Thursday is the best day to get laid because you get laid and you start the weekend happy and get to hang with your boys and all that stuff. So
let's call that having a plan.
Yeah. So let me the two areas where guys will fail, right? One is the ability to like talk to a girl well, have a good conversation where he builds that rapport. They get on a little deeper level than just surface level. So it's that game stuff, right? But then the other area is the logistic stuff. So I'll have guys who will really be focused on what to text next, what to say next, how to make a first date go well. And then the end of the evening they're grabbing drinks. It's an hour and a half. And then he's like, oh, all right, well, I guess I'll see you later, you know, and it's like an awkward hug. Like he doesn't know where to take it next. And that's where the logistics really come in. You have a plan and you know what your next steps are going to be. And so those two things together will help you win. And your logistics are going to be different depending on where you're at, you know, just like Paul Bauer saying he had to come up with contingencies because he can't have a girl drive an hour to see you. One last point, and I'll shut the fuck up here and let Cappy keep going, but is, you know, a girl is doing the universal law of mate selection for women is based in a cost benefit analysis. They're looking at, is this reward going to be worth as much as it's going to cost me in every decision? If the reward is perceived emotionally as being greater than the cost, she'll sleep with you. If not, the other way. The thing is, girls are more risk averse, just historically with our evolution. So they're going to build up that cost in their head a lot more than you are. So a lot of your goal in dating, because she doesn't know you if you've never met her before and there's no emotional equity built there. There's no kiss before. You never had sex with her before. None of those things. She's never met you before. You have to reduce that cost or perception of cost for her to meet up with you. She might not meet up with you if she has to meet up with you on a Saturday and drive 45 minutes.
This is way too we're going way too anal right now.
Am I being too involved for this podcast right now?
We've lost the target. If I gotta my point is even simpler than that. She wants to fuck you. That's it. Those are the traits you walk in with. Be fuckable, right? The car ain't going to run if you ain't got no engine. Have a fucking working car that she wants to drive. All right. 2, present yourself. Talk to the girl. Be charming and all that. We'll get to that. 3, I like having a plan. The logistics, like you got to know, master of your ceremonies and all that. Worrying about, that's almost exactly what I want to avoid. Oh my God, I got to analyze her investment. No, fuck it. She is already knocking on your door. That's the high level I'm trying to get here. We don't have to worry about that shit. Where she's willing to show up. She is, and I understand accepting rejection, overcoming cowardice. You just rarely walk in and the girl's like immediately on your dick. It just doesn't happen that way. But if I have to worry about what kind of investment I'm making and no, I want it where there is no last minute resistance. She is ride or die. It is the most efficient way to get the date possible.
Obviously, but how does that go against what I'm saying?
No, I'm just saying it's too granular. Like even what I'm trying to say is it's not that you've lost or that those thoughts shouldn't be in your head. It's just that ideally you wouldn't even have to worry about it at that level. It's not to say you're not wrong. But in other words, spending the extra time at the gym, putting on decent clothes, is going to get a higher rate of return than that.
Right. Well, because you're increasing the perceived benefit. You see what I mean? It's just a way of thinking about it. But a lot of guys some guys think like they want the girl to qualify to them. Like, well, if she likes me enough, she'll drive an hour to see me. You've never met this girl before. She doesn't know you. She doesn't know you have a YouTube file. You know what I mean? So they have to.
I mean, sometimes they do it. Sometimes they do it though, where it's like,
sometimes they do drive an hour. But if you build the benefit up enough, right? Or she receives the benefit up. So it's all about gauging that, because where you start isn't where you end. Sometimes you have a girl she's hot enough to meet you, but she's not hot enough to drive an hour yet. But then after that first meeting, she wants to sleep with you.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, here, Cappy, I'll give you one more practical for my example. When I was growing up, or when I was in the military, and I was first starting to chase the skirts, as the boomers say, my base was on CFB Esquimalt. It was over here, downtown, over there, about 10 kilometers between the two, 5 miles. I picked a condo to live in between the two. It was a 5K jog or like a 3-mile run to work if I wanted to jog to work to be fit. And if I went to the bar, got too drunk, couldn't drive home, because we didn't have Uber there. But the cabs always took like an hour to sort through all the people wandering the streets and that. My best logistics was like, hey, look, these cabs are going to take an hour. It's freezing out here. Let's just walk to my place. We'll have a drink. And then we'll call you a cab from there once all the shit's calmed down here. Already at your place. Already have a reason to go have some drinks. If something happens, so what? Like, she's interested in it. If she's not interested, she won't come back. Like, that's a great logistics plan, and it helped me so much. Way better than if I was like, here, I got to drive to the suburbs. You want to go 45 minutes with me here? Like, no, it's just, come on. Plausible deniability. That's the big part of it. She just gets to follow the lead, and everything just happens, and it's not her fault, and she didn't do anything. We just talked. You know what I mean?
Oh no, 100%, because you just can't show up. I'm a good-looking dude, and now we go back to my place. You need to let the girl test drive the car, trust the car, and there has to be a little bit of a sales pitch to begin with. And Paul and you are absolutely 100% right. And that's why I like the logistics, where no, I kind of got a plan. It seems seamless to them. They don't realize there was a fair amount of planning that went into it. And yes, that is absolutely correct. Now, because I want to get into a couple of things, we're already running at an hour. The one final thing I'll add, and maybe you guys will add to the list, for you younger gentlemen out there, you need to stop being such fucking spurgs. All right? I got you guys coming up to me. I want to break my legs and grow them out more. If I get a car, will that do that?
Is that real?
No, it is.
Want to break their legs and grow them out more?
Okay.
Yeah.
The girl,
she doesn't want to hear about your World War II lore, is what you're saying, dude. Don't talk about that.
You got to be charming. You have to have a fucking personality. And I know we focus on the gym and soy boys and noodle arms and all that. But guys, you also have to be charming. You got to make this girl laugh. You cannot just be nervous and tense and, oh my God, what if I say the wrong thing? You can't have that. Not only do you need to be able to talk, you need to be able to woo this girl. Now, I don't know how that happens over time. I watched a shit ton of old school, like, Cary Grant type of movies and all that. Dancing actually develop. And you know what? But what helps actually having a personality? Having a fucking life, right? If your entire life is, I got to get the girls, you're not a human being. You're not interesting. All right. I go hunting, or I go bronco riding, or I even liking Legos. It's some fucking thing that gives you a personality and a charm. And then I would also recommend along there, you do need to learn to be flirtatious and talk to women. You do have to sell yourself in that way. But I mean, right now we got there's a spur crisis out there where you guys can't even talk to your neighbor. But you are not going to get to that point. She's banging at your door. If you're way too stoic and you're also like spur, you need to have some kind of charming personality that she can emotionally glom onto as well. Good. Glad we agree with that one. Okay, right.
A lot of guys are entitled. They think, hey, I don't have to be likable, but it's just like, so everyone else in the world has to be likable and charming to you and not cut you off in traffic and hold doors open for you. But you can't have the skills to learn how to talk to another human being within the confines of a certain environment, right? Like, I'm not going to talk to a girl at a coffee shop the same I do at salsa night, right? Guys are really that entitled where it's just like, wait, the whole world should qualify to me and my needs, but I'm not going to go out there and make people feel good. Like, the there's an equal exchange. Like you have to be nice and likable, just like everyone else. I don't get it.
I'll add this. If you guys aren't great conversationalists, but you do want to still get to girls, read a really great book, came out in the 30s, called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And one of the things that you'll learn in that book is that you don't actually have to talk that much. In fact, it helps you with women not to.
The power of shut the fuck up. Yep.
Right. If you get her talking, women love to talk. So just let them. All you have to do is take a genuine interest in what she's saying, ask clarifying questions when she makes some assumptions on what she's saying, and just keep her talking. She'll think you're the greatest conversationalist in the world. And she's like, oh my God, this guy gets me.
Like, to get girls talking, Paul.
Yeah. What's
like
that?
if the date got stale, like the conversation got stale, I'd be like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I forgot to ask you, how are you feeling today? And they wouldn't stop talking.
That's a
and
good one.
That's good.
Like you say, excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't ask you, how are you feeling today? And girls are just, because girls like the therapy kind of feelings talk. So it's just, and I would just be like, we're back in it, boys. Just let them go.
Sly dog.
Yeah.
That's a good one. What I used to do is I'd look at that as a way to gog interest, where it's like, let's say do you guys remember Pulp Fiction?
No.
Awkward silences, that scene between Uma Thurman and what's his name?
John Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta. Thank you. There's this awkward silence, and all of a sudden Uma Thurman starts talking to him. And I love that scene because I used to do that at dates where like you had talking and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden that silence came. And I was like, I'll just see if she restarts the conversation. And 9 times out of 10, when she restarted the conversation, I knew I was in. I was in. It was like, oh, what? How are you? And blah, blah, blah. Then if she wanted to know more about me, I knew I was good. But I liked Nuke's one as well, actually. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask. How are you feeling? It's like, oh, good one.
Worked on too. Like, I would ask that to my mother, like, and because like my mom would just always talk about me and how I was doing. Did I eat today? And I'm like, Mom, how are you feeling today? And then she would be like, well, the chickens and, the house and your father did this today. And I'm like, see, now I got my mother phone call out the way and she's talking and now she's happy. And I'm happy because she's okay. So it's just
you're a good son, Nuke. I mean, you're son of the year, man.
That's how I figured it out. Like my mom would ask that to me sometime. I'm like, wait, I feel really good when people ask me how I'm feeling. Like as a guy, you're just going to be like, I'm fine, Mom. No big deal. But when I asked her back, she'd be like, well, and I'm like, this is a good question to ask women. They love feelings and talking about how they feel. So go ahead, ladies. Good. Like, it's great.
Really nice.
All right. So if you just achieve those 4 things, no guarantee you're going to have the magnetic personality of Jason Statham. Final thing before we take off, what's it going to look like when a girl likes you? And this is where I want to paint the difference between where you're negotiating and hoping she comes out and, hey, are you on your way? And all that shit versus she's knocking at your door. And I show what's it? Paint me the picture of what it looks like when a girl.
I released a whole new essay on this just today. I'm going to shill it filthily in the chat and people can go check it out on my Substack because she will put herself in your orbit. She will make the effort to get the date there. She will give all her attention to you because of you. She will make it known by her actions, not her words. Yeah, by her actions. Now go read my fucking Substack. Paul gets
God
it.
Damn it! I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened with Nurse Chick. So I met her for coffee, and I don't typically like coffee dates, but that she was a graveyard shift nurse. That was the only time we could meet up. So
Red flag.
So I met her for. She's a nurse, guys.
It is, but she seems cool though.
No, she's cool. But so we meet for coffee, and it was WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania Sunday. So I was like, I already got plans. Like, I'm not trying to get laid. I'm just like, let's go for coffee. Anyway, at the end of the date, I walk her to her car. I go in for a kiss, and she just like she melted. Right? It was like she waited for it the whole time. I drive home and I'm like, all right, I'm getting ready for WrestleMania. I'm getting my barbecue going. I'm like, I'm excited. I get a phone call from her. And she goes, hey, I got low census. So what are you up to? And I was like, I'm not missing WrestleMania, So I was like, well, I'm watching WrestleMania. You're welcome to join me. She's like, okay, cool. What's your address? And she drove an hour because she lives an hour away. She drove an hour to my house to go watch WrestleMania. Like, girls don't watch WrestleMania, guys. So if a girl's going, I'm going to go out of my way, an hour out of my way to go watch WrestleMania, it's a done deal. All you have to do is not put your foot in your mouth, and you're going to score. And so I immediately knew that. I was like, she's not driving out here just to watch WrestleMania. I just need to shut the fuck up and not mess things up. The rest is history.
Paul, let me point out something for everyone to notice. Like, you did all the work up front, and there does come a stage where it's like, okay, now it's time to her to perform, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this thing, and you don't always have to constantly be selling yourself. Inevitably, the person who wants to buy it is going to have to make the purchase, and that kind of helps. Where it's just like, you know what? I've gone to the gym. I was charming and funny. This girl could call you. And I think that's one of the main things is, what did she demonstrate, Paul?
She demonstrated interest, like high interest.
And agency. She's like, can I come over?
Yeah.
And that, I'd say that's the number one difference between gals where you got to constantly pull the teeth and all that. They will put you, they're like, hey, can I come over? They'll be there. You'll see them and you won't have to do it. And that's like kind of one of my whole points is they're now taking the action. They're now taking the initiative.
Yeah.
Well, the key is to be able to be like a gravitational pull with your behavior. It starts off, that's where push-pull comes in. It starts off with a simple talking to them, a simple coffee date or a drink. But as they like you more and build more investment up, next thing you know, they're driving to your house to cook you dinner. You know what I mean? It starts somewhere and they gravitationally come in and pull to you if they like you, of course.
Ryan, does your woman like cook for you or something? She's like Vera from Cheers. We never see her. We don't know who she is.
Why do you think I'm always late to these things?
Oh, Ryan.
But I'd imagine she was. Didn't she like help you do construction work on your condo?
Yeah, while I was on the podcast, that's what I loved it. I was doing a masculinity podcast, and she's running the jackhammer tile on the floors, and I told her like keep it down. It was awesome. Yeah, no, she's always been invested. Our first date, she took me up to the mountain. We were doing like some CrossFit thing, but she had been drinking heavily the night before, so she grew up in the bushes. It's like she was just fun and cool and made herself available. I don't know. It's one of those things I kind of found. Like I dated a lot, but I didn't have really many like long-term anythings. And that was all it took was like pay attention to the one that actually is trying to be there and have a good time. It's that simple, really. But it just took a lot of girls to get to that.
I'll toss in my story where it's kind of a night and day difference. The gal I got now, it was between her and 3 other gals I was kind of chasing at the time. And one of them, this one that I got now, I remember, I'll never forget it. I show it. She's like, oh, do you want to come over for dinner? I didn't have to ask. She says, I'm going to make dinner. Do you want to come over for dinner? What would you like? I'm like, oh, I love enchiladas. And so I'm going over and I'm expecting dinner. Open up the door. She's in a French maid outfit. Why? Because she paid the fuck attention when we were all hanging out. I say, oh yeah, French maids. That. And the one of the other contenders, who wasn't a contender because she wasn't interested, I got an email like, it concerns me that your dream is to have me in French maid outfit serving you drinks. It's like, there's the difference.
Yeah.
One you're pulling teeth. The other one's like,
yes,
pays attention.
100%.
Yeah. Right. He likes enchiladas and he likes French maids. I am going to take the agency to deliver both. Right. And that's, so it's easy. It should be ultimate. After you put in all the work, it should be easy after a while.
Well, the key component to that story is you were talking to 3 girls, you see. So you had an abundance of options at the time because you were dating people and you doing whatever it was that you did to source women and getting in their orbit and going on dates. So you had a selection. So you didn't feel like you had to choose the one who's saying you bitching at you and not doing things for you, right?
Exactly. It's like of mice and men. If you only have one rabbit and you're going to pet the one rabbit, then of course you're going to kill it.
Right. Right. I do that at least once a week.
That's deep, Ryan. That's
Right. Yeah. That's why my
any other
the chloroform
phenomenon
game.
you guys have seen? I want to paint a picture so that the guys know. Like, yes, it's going to be easier than before. But any other obvious things?
Two things for. And in terms of like just sexual, like first meetup and stuff, the only IOI guys should be really like paying attention to, sorry, is if she wants to be alone with you, right? So a lot of girls will flirt with you, they will give you the eyes, they will giggle, they will accept your drinks, whatever. But until the moment she, like Mystery talked about this, until you get her isolated to another bar, on a date with you, or in the back of the club or the bar, or wherever you're at talking, none of it matters, right? Because women will use other women and other things as buffers, so she doesn't have to like deal with you personally by yourself, right? And then within confines of a relationship, the only way I know that a girl is truly into me is that she constantly telegraphs to me there are no other men. She is constantly trying to prove there's no other guys. Like, for example, I had a girlfriend a couple years back where she had a Miami trip lined up. A New York trip lined up, right? New York is for fun for girls, right?
One of those cities.
It was lined up before we met. So we started dating 3 months in. I said, "Hey, aren't you supposed to be going to New York or something with your girls?" And she said, "No, I canceled it. I didn't. I wanted to hang out with you this weekend, or I just wanted to be with you this week or something." And then that's how you know, because she is trying to tell you, "Hey, I am," implicitly, right? Like guys want this like super explicit, like you're the only one for me. I'm like, no, pay attention to her actions. Her actions will tell you, hey, she's trying to tell you something. It's, hey, there's no other guys, and I'm going to prove it to you until you get it through your thick skull. There's no other guys, and that for me is the only thing that matters, is her proving there's, because a lot of girls will cook for you and then suck another dude's dick the next day.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't
Seriously,
matter.
no, you're right. Yeah.
Quote of the year. Hang on, I'm writing that down.
There's girls that will they'll be like, yeah, I'll wear this lingerie, but then another guy got me lingerie too. So for me, it's just like, hey, I was gonna go out to Miami, or I was gonna do this with the girls, but I'm staying with you, and that is ultimately like what really matters to me, right? But every guy has their way of gauging, that. But that's just me personally.
Well, I think I want to jump on back to reiterate your first point, because I think it's such a good one, which is, the girl is thinking, like, at least interested in considering going to bed with you when she's willing to be alone with you, when she's willing to isolate with you. That's on the table now. It goes from, I'm not sure, or I don't like this guy, you know what I mean, to like, yeah, maybe I would actually sleep with this guy. Like, a lot of times guys, like, she'll sleep with you if you don't fuck it up at that point. You know what I mean? That includes a first date. That includes you're talking to a girl at a bar, and then she goes with you to go grab a drink and breaks away from her friends. You know what I mean? Willing to location change from one thing to the next, or, you know what I mean? Or if you meet a girl on the street and she actually goes and grabs a coffee with you, like, if she is willing to isolate with you, that's a really good sign that she's definitely considering something, and that you're on the right track. You know what I mean? That you've crossed that first bridge, I think.
Yeah, turns out the PUAs were right. Like, she has to be
for sure on that.
isolated.
Yeah, absolutely.
The isolation. Yeah.
All right.
Any others? I just got one more that I can only think of, but I mean, yes, Jack.
If she touches you for no other reason than touching you, if she laughs at your stupid jokes and she's like, you're so funny, and whatever.
Backhand into your chest.
Yeah.
When you say something lewd or crass, you go, oh, stop it.
Bad. Yeah. What is it? Fourth worst Playboy always says, girls never touch you accidentally. Never.
Yeah, if they're looking for an excuse to touch you.
Or that weird grooming thing they do. And I'm not talking about the teachers and the students, but they're like, oh, you had a little dirt on your shirt thing, where it's like, yeah, I had dirt on my shirt. My shirts are perfect.
Red pill chick on our first date. She was asking me about my time in the military. This was before I even studied any game. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I'm sitting there talking, using my hands a lot, and she grabs my hand. She goes, "Oh, it's like you're landing airplanes. Stop that!" And she held my hand.
That's actually pretty cute,
And then,
did you punch her for touching your airplane pants?
How dare you? I'm trying to land airplanes here, bitch. Yeah, and then like later, we went up to go to the bar, and she started like nestling her butt into my crotch. It's like, and I'm thinking like a naive dipshit that's not that's not good at reading signals going, oh, she seems nice. I think I might go for a kiss at the end of the night. Like I could have fucked her in the back of the car right there. You know, those are the types of signals that women are putting off when they're ready to go right now. You know?
And very closely related to that, they will initiate sex. Like you walk in and the girl's like tearing your clothes off. Like you don't have to, you're kind of almost, you're just like, oh, I'm looking forward to like sitting down and watching, I don't know, Voltron. And all of a sudden she's like tearing your clothes off. Like that's, just, I mean, I know it's stating the obvious, but as opposed to like, I don't know, being a married man where you're like, hey honey, what's going on? Like, no, she's just like, let's go. It's very obvious.
Well, later that same date, we left that venue. We were at a brewery. We went to an Applebee's, and after Applebee's, we walk out to the car. She walked up and basically just started making out with me. She like attacked me in the parking lot viciously by making out. And I was just like, man, she seems like a good girl. You know, like I was so fucking naive at that point. It was like
if she says, oh, sorry, go ahead, Paul. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And then, you know, like I say it a lot. It was the same MO that I would run into a lot where it was like the first girl that's nice to me, I went all in on, right? That's why she ended up being red pill chick. But, cause I learned my lesson from that. You keep sourcing new women when you get a high interest woman like that. Don't stop there, you know? Anyway.
Thor, you got a question for me or Ryan?
I do, because you guys are the smarties here. It's just I picked up on, and I would notice as I was, let's just say, having conversations. Why is it guys that are new to this space and gals, especially coaches, and it might just be part of the cycle, but they immediately place society as their biggest issue in life. All of a sudden, all questions, all conversation as well. Society should be this way or that way because, you know, us red pillars or us guys that are smarter. And it seems like the focus has moved to what society should do rather than what we should do as individuals.
Scapegoat sell, man. Scapegoat sell.
Yeah, because you're removing accountability. The hard thing to do is to tell the person who's sucking that, well, you're sucking because you suck right now. And so you need to learn some better skills and do some different things to improve. That's what the real answer is. But that person is not going to buy the product. Most people just want to hear that it's not their fault. That's unfortunately.
What I'm seeing is this legacy thing. It's just, society should do this, society should do that. And you'll hear the guys, gals, in order to improve society, see it on the right, see it on the left, see it in the center. It's like this metamorphosis. Hey, I learned the red pill. Obviously, I went out, I talked to people. They said, F you, red pillars. You know, I'm not interested in unsolicited advice. The next thing I've worked with the folks is like, well, you should do this. You shall do this because of society and your responsibility to society. Is this a cycle?
Yeah. The men's rights advocates, that's all they used to be about. Like Paul Elam has been whining for 30 straight years. It's crazy. And it's not your fault. Because if it's your fault, you're offending the guy and he doesn't want to buy your merch.
Yeah. And this entire discussion is because is society-wide have women changed negatively when it comes to commitment and dating court? Yes, they have. But holy cow, you look at some of these guys out here, like you guys are not, you're hard sells. Like there's no way to sell you. Like no, really, rule one, no girl wants to fuck you. So let's start there.
Yeah, they want state enforced monogamy. You know, like, hey,
right.
You have to stay with me because President Trump said so. I'm like,
right.
Like,
or
don't
for
you want
making Christian babies?
I've literally had DMs from, let's say, some coaches that ask me, what is our responsibility? Because we should be improving society. What are we telling people to improve society moving forward? And I'm like, what the hell? You know,
I already served 6 years. What else do you want from me? I worked really hard already. I paid my taxes. There you go.
It's become more common to hear that conversation. You know, it's like, holy crap, what's the point? Is it just a political thing, right? And Aaron, it's like society. We should tell society to do this because that's our responsibility as responsible coaches and red pillars. It's like, is this something people just cycle through?
I just want men to, I want to never see an email request ever again about, should I extend my legs? What if I buy this car? I want, it's like, unless you're hitting the gym and physically attractive, I don't want to hear your problems. I'd like to see some progress made. And if we do that, society has, I mean, if every guy woke the fuck up and got in better shape, I think that'd be a pretty good olive branch to society in general, where women like, oh wow, men are really up in their game, but it's not going to happen.
Gabby, you underestimate what men will do just to avoid rejection. You underestimate. They will join religions. They will join political movements. They will sign up. They will read. They will write books. They will do anything but face rejection from a woman, whether it be their wife or some chick at a bar. They will do anything.
I have 11 years.
And blame the red pill guys because we licked the ice cream or something. I don't know.
I have 11 years now coming up at Asshole Consulting. I have plenty of emails that corroborate everything you said, Nuke. And that's why I'm getting frustrated. It's like we've been doing this for 20 years, and I got people, oh, if I wear pink shoes, well, that indicates and all it is go to the fucking gym. And
just go, just do. You're a human being, you're a human doing, not a human being. You have to do shit.
She needs to be wet. That's step one. Let's just start there. So, all right, let's go through all of our shit. Thor, what do you got going on? And then we'll do super chats afterwards. If you guys want to stick around, you certainly may.
Guys, just everybody come see me at becomedurable.com. Free chat from audiobooks there and some other stuff that's really nice. And I hopefully within, a few weeks, I'll have a new book out. But in the meantime, I would encourage everybody just to check all these guys out. I mean, these guys are what's important. Ryan, Nuke, very smart. Their back catalog's amazing. Paul's a tremendous help.
Even Jack?
Even Jack kind of.
Wow.
Kind of inspires me with the hair. I'm trying to get that top knot thing going, that Danish thing. Get that. I'm going to try to out-gay Jack. Yeah, that's hard. But,
all right. My stepson, Paul.
Oh,
hi. Yeah, not Paul, not hiking Paul. My stepson Paul.
That's
Paul.
me. Oh. Right. I'm still need to borrow that money. I hope you're.
That's right.
I take the car out this weekend. So, well, get on my community. All right, it's over. I have a school community, Apex Mindset. I'm going to throw the link in the chat, which does not work. So I'm going to throw the link in the private chat. Somebody else can do it. But I have Sexpionage 2.0 dropping, which, interestingly enough, kind of coincides with this topic. I launched that last year. It was really successful. But I work with a lot of other things too outside of just getting the girls. So as I said last year, I probably will not have the time to do a second run of Sexpionage this year. And so it was true last year. It's true this year. When I run Sexpionage 2.0, it'll probably be the only opportunity to do that course. I'm going to drop it either like as far as launching it for enrollment, either Friday next week or sometime the following week. So it's going to be happening soon. The 2.0 material has a lot of inner game stuff because I was teaching the skills last year and a lot of guys benefited from it, but a lot of guys struggle with the self-confidence and the things going on inside of themselves. And so I'm covering that in better detail with new material, as well as all last year's material this time around. And we'll have personal coaching on these things so you guys can go out, take action. All right. Don't just sit on your butt and watch a video or sit in the background on a Zoom call. Actually go out, do something, come back, and we coach on it. So that'll be a lot of fun. So that's what's coming up. And then get in my community, ask questions if you need anything. It's a free community. So
cool. Go. Stone.
Ka-ching, boys. Look, Clary, you've always been a fan of my work. You speak very well of it. I have been most appreciative. I don't do nearly enough to promote Book of Numbers. I will cheerlead Bachelor Pad Economics till the day I die and enjoy the decline. Absolutely. I think it's your best work. This is something new. There is no facts. There is no figures. There is no stats. This is a work of literary fiction. This is what should have been out there instead of Star Wars slop or female werewolf literotica, fat single mom, wizard magic crap. No, it's contemporary fiction. It's written for men. It's made to be entertaining. You can enjoy it on any level you want to. There is a surface level. Just watching a guy get laid, like watching Neil Strauss's The Game, and that's fun enough. But then there's themes in it of a guy's coming to terms with not turning into their dads or promise keepers. There's like 800,000 red-pilled concepts in there because That's stuff that reflects life. And I'm very subtle about it. You don't even notice it's there unless you're looking for it. If you don't last 3 times, it's your money back. Like, I don't know how I can commit to that, but I'm saying it anyway because it sounds really good and it's true. Everybody will laugh at least 3 times reading this goddamn thing. It is my best work. I have been the most happy with it. And after you find out you love this and you actually prefer the fiction stuff, join my Substack. I've already started a new one on this one. It's I don't have a working title yet, but it's like Jake Long and Softbone cyberpunk stuff. It's going to be so fun, man. All the shit that Clary's been bitching about the goddamn Democrats.
It is.
I added 10% to it. Yeah, I added 10% to what they do. It is now dystopic science fiction. Like, how awesome is that? We're 90% of the way there right now. So yeah, you can follow along there.
Just from my audience to know, you were promoting Dog Walker, and then you have another book coming up on the dystopian world.
Oh, dude. Praxeology Volume 3 Field Reports, the red-pilled, like, Reader's Digest, that came out. I am absolutely promoting it. Dog Walker just came out in February here, and that's the one I'm talking about now. The new one on Substack is going to be New Kowloon. And this summer, there is going to be a companion piece to Praxeology Volume 3. It's going to be a Volume 4 as well. So, like, I'm prolific as shit. I have to catch up with Clary and his... Like, dude, I know why you MS Paint. I was making fun of you before, but I get it. You have, like, 27 books. And they're all, like, the minimum amount of pages to make a book. So, like, that's awesome. You're very efficient, and it kind of fits your brand of, like, economics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see 27 covers that aren't just MS Paint drawings would probably be impossible.
Well, it's 14, not 27, but I have officially written more books than I've
I counted the small ones too.
Yeah. Well, okay, I guess so. All right, Nuke, what do you got?
Well, I have the course, the fashion course is in the chat, $30. 10,000 words, 30-something odd pages, quick crash course on how to not be like a slob and dress correctly. I have the Substack. I am currently on Article 45, so 55 more articles, and then it'll be a book. And follow my YouTube, right? Now, I wanted to add, too, I forgot, sorry. A lot of guys will trip up over guilt, too, when dating, where, like, they can't conceptualize seeing more than one woman at a time because it's bad. And it isn't until a guy sees 2 women in a very short period of time, like a week, that he gets over that part. Because, you know, what would mommy say, or what would society say if I actually enjoyed myself for once, you know? So I just wanted to, it's very important too, but topic for another day. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And, you know, I wanted to do a futuristic space cowboy anime now, but I don't know if I can live up to the cyberpunk stuff.
Oh, shut up, lazy bastards! Do it.
None of you will make cowboy.
It's gonna be Outlaw Star-ish, kind of Cowboy Bebop, right? And I don't know yet if you guys are gonna be in it based on, like, you know, like kind of the abstract. Hey, that's me. You know, I want you guys to read it and be like, oh, that's me. But we'll see. I gotta finish this and stop. Like Ryan said, stop being lazy. But be on the lookout. Should be out summer. So thanks.
Hiking, Paul, second best hiker in the red pill community.
Cappy still hasn't wrenched me, so if someone could drop this link in the chat. I have a video I did a year or two ago now called The 3 6s Are a Lie. So it's very apropos to what we're talking about today. And because a lot of guys they really cling on to that sort of MGTOW talking point. The women all want the 3 6s, so you might as well give up and shit. It's like, no, like the women came in measures, so don't even worry about that kind of stuff, right? Stop using some of these stats online that you hear as an excuse not to go talk to girls. Other than that, what else is going on? On Monday, tune into the podcast. I have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday's episode is going to be about how men are not hypergamous. I have one of my most viral shorts came out like 3 years ago, and it was
that's so good though. That's an important concept there.
Yeah. So this was a stitch I did like 3 years ago of this girl who's like, I had the most perfect guy, and I had this feeling that I could do better, and so I stitched that, and I was like, well, that feeling is like your hypergamous nature, right? Anyway, I keep getting comments to this day because it's got like 3 million views of people going, well, men are hypergamous too. Men do the same thing. And I'm like, so I decided, I'm going to do an episode about how men are not hypergamous, and I'm going to talk about that and how monogamy fits in with sexual strategy, and how it's actually not our natural sexual strategy to be monogamous. So what does that mean? Like, if we decide to be monogamous, does that mean that we're losers? Is that like, a loss for us? And I'm going to talk about that on Monday.
Could you make fun of Pizzacrates?
What's that?
So that guy named himself Socrates, but he's fat as fuck. So I always called him Pizzacrates. And he's like, men are hypogamous. It's like, shut the
Are you
fuck
talking about the 21 convention guy?
The convention
Yeah.
shall not be named.
It
yes.
shall not be named.
Yes. Yes. him.
Anyone can do that, right? Like I really noticed anyone can be like, hey, I'm gonna start a convention of masculine super turbo alphas and
Nukes, let's do it. We're going to make an
didn't
anime
that
alpha
recent-
convention.
That was AlphaCon. AlphaCon guy is now arrested for a $20 million fraud.
Yeah, he is.
That reminds me, I am
So
thinking
dumb.
about creating a new alpha wolf
Fraudulent case.
fucking
Now, let's all go to
convention
jail. It'd be
so
a
I can
great
be
time.
Yeah.
I'm
Couple
just
guys.
gonna
That would be
start an
good.
anime con and then dress it up. I'm gonna start a con, but dress it up as an anime convention.
Hey,
Yes.
And then
guys,
everyone
guys,
will be like,
guys.
I'm gonna teach you how to be a
Anime
man, guys.
I-
So
I have a
Goku,
life.
right?
I got
He
hiking to
chose
do.
the
I want to hang out
masculine
with you,
aspect of-
Hanyakers. Jack,
All
what
right,
do you got?
Jack.
Okay, two things. Well, first of all, I have an essay about the myth of the top 20%. Go check that out because the whole 20% and 6/6 thing is very subjective and taken out of context. And I released a new essay this morning about the topic that we were discussing because Cappy is secretly subscribed to my Substack and he stole my topic for a show because he's not original.
I did.
But I wrote about it this morning, so if you'd be so kind to please go check out the Substack, I would very much appreciate it. Thank you very much. We just passed 1,100 subscribers on there, so thank you.
Nice. And then my latest book out is called Zero World Problems, New Standards of Living in a Post-Materialist Economy. If you'd like to dramatically increase your standards of living without having to work more or spend more money or GDP per capita, there it is. It is some of my newer work, and it contributed new things to the thoughts of economics. And Nuke, did you ever read the part about you? I think you got a copy. Did you get to the point where I talk about your backdrop?
You said you were sending me one. I haven't received it yet.
All
Maybe
right,
it came in
still-
today. I got a notification just now about FedEx. If you sent it through FedEx,
Maybe it's in there. So that's it. All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming on the show. Yeah,
You need to
Ryan,
read
what do
the
you got?
super chat.
One thing I forgot.
Yeah.
My Orion channel. I just released the newest video for that one. You guys should go check it out. It is a Gonzo movie review of the greatest British sci-fi sexploitation comedy of the 1970s, Spaced Out. You're gonna absolutely love it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's Austin Powers meets Star Wars meets the Hub.
Is there tits?
meets the
Yeah.
hub.
Oh yes.
Okay.
I-
All right. You sold me. You sold me.
Gratuitous nudity for no reason
No,
other
no,
than
no,
it's
no, no.
awesome.
I like. All right. There we go. All right. If you guys want
Hey,
to stick around for this,
everybody come see the Dragon Ship in a half hour. We got a panel. It's got some new topics, so hopefully you'll come visit us there.
You need me to read the super chats, Cappy? Race through
yeah,
them.
if you want, let's go through it here. All right. You guys can stick around.
There we go. Hexus 199. Cappy cameo on Fresh and Fit was great. Thank you.
No, it was horrible.
Huh.
If you guys want to see me in wreathing? I'm not kidding. It was a horrible experience. Nothing to do with the host. Go and watch either on Fresh and Fit's channels or Mike Sartain or Rolo's channel. 29 minutes and 30 seconds is where the pain starts. And then I tell all the girls I'd rather end my life than be married to a single one of them later on in the thing. But
God,
we'll talk about
Happy, what
that
did they
then.
do to you?
Oh God,
You
Nuke,
okay?
Nuke, go find it Sartain's or whoever's channel. 29-minute, 30-second mark. You watch it, and you guys be. Oh yeah, I'd be putting a bullet through myself.
God
at that
bless
point.
Sartain for putting up with this kind of stuff, but okay.
It's
I'll watch it, I'll watch
it made for good. It was horrible.
There we go. Socko 199. Cappy's cameo on Red Evening was amazing. It sure was.
Yep.
It sure was. Hank of Flamo for $5. The strategy is to literally be Chad Elkins. Yes.
Yeah. good old
Step
Chad.
back. You're coming in hot, Jack.
Oh, there we go. How's that?
The
Here?
strategy is literally to be Chad Elkins.
Elkins. Yes.
Yes, but be taller and not as nice and be a drug dealer and have a criminal record. If Chad just did those things, he would get the girls. But he's unfortunately a contributing member to society and a very successful tax accountant.
Yeah.
What is it?
Found
What is
it.
it? What,
I found it. Oh, dude.
what are you,
The
what'd
look
you
on your
find?
face. The look on your face,
Oh,
Clary.
oh yeah.
Holy sweet
Share it,
Jesus.
Ryan. Share it.
Let me. Yeah, Ryan, can you we might as well.
Oh my God. Oh sweet Jesus.
You
Oh
have
baby.
to-
Oh Lord.
Is it in the comments? Where's the private chat?
If Ryan is dying like this, it has to be funny.
All right,
Dude, as soon as you see his face, I don't even know what she's babbling about, but her hands are flying around like she's from Staten Island.
All right.
29 minutes and 30 seconds.
Let me get the
Just-
got
oh.
it here.
Oh, and the pop collar sells it so hard. Oh,
Let me see if I can share this. All
I'm
right.
screenshotting this.
Yes, what the hell happened to you? You're like drunk awake from all the stupidity.
All right. You guys see this?
What the fuck is this?
Hang on. Let me hide Oflamio's comment. All right. Do you guys see this?
Yes.
No.
All right. I'm
I
gonna
have
hit
not seen
play.
this.
Hopefully this works.
Other men and maybe seeing their cocks and putting yourself in weird.
I watching the soul
situations
leave
where
your body.
someone else who's not in the sex shouldn't have-
Wait till they
This-
start arguing.
This has to be
isn't the
part of
word.
an intro. Someone has to make this into an intro, a part of their intro now.
And watch his lip. It's like slowly
You wanna respond to
curls,
that? No.
like he was eating a lemon or something.
Guys, just
Oh
to get the full effect, you all need to be quiet to hear the pain I had to go through. All right, just hold your laughter here.
Go around. I'm just
No,
being
I mean,
respectful to
you were directly, you wanted to rebut what
No,
she was
but
saying
that- but
directly,
that-
so.
the thing is that even saying, so if you were to say your son down and you were to say those words, you're automatically putting in this judgment that I would hope that you would not do it. You know what I mean? The way that it's being said, that's what I'm saying. Watch your words, especially having kids. The way it's being said is going to be, it's going to.
I'm so glad you're happy, Ryan. I'm so glad.
Oh, you deserve every second
No,
of
I
this.
know. I did not deserve.
That's so
this.
funny, dude.
Wait till they go at it
be
here.
that way. You know what I'm saying? If you truly mean that, hey, go be happy, go find yourself. As long as you're being respected, as long as that your voice means something, as long as you establish fundamentals. If a hoe that does that shit don't establish his fundamentals, then it doesn't. If a girl that whatever the hell.
We get what you're saying. I lost you 2 sentences ago. Wait, what was that? I am.
But I'm trying to say things in the most correct way
Yes.
that I can. But I'm
She's
not,
saying, watch
Please,
your words
please.
because you're calling it not smart.
No, she feels like this.
No, I wasn't even responding to the smart thing. I wasn't even responding.
Right?
Listen, I understand you.
Okay, thank you.
Also, like,
She's my type. Not gonna
No,
lie.
I'm saying with my kids. I'm saying with my kids in particular. If I say that, then I'm automatically putting in. Hold on. Then I am putting in, like you said. You said, are you putting in a judgment, right?
This woman has children, by the way.
No.
This thing bred. Yes.
By saying
Wow.
no judgment, is there a judgment there, right?
well, I
By,
know
hold on,
that
hold on, no. I'm
judgment.
talking
That
yes.
was
No, hold on. But you saying no judgment.
He
So
judges as fuck.
no, I'm saying what you say can come across as a judgment, right? So as a kid, what if he's like, this
We're
girl,
all
she's
losing
not-
brain
like,
cells
she,
right now.
she got X, Y, Z going on. You know what I mean? Like he sees something different than you, but if you put in that judgment kind of a tone and that like phrase, do you see what I'm saying, or am I totally cuckoo?
Say it nicer.
No, I see what you're saying, but also
That's my problem.
at
That's my
what
problem.
age
I'll
or
admit my
at
problem.
what
Jesus, Cappy,
All right,
are
yeah,
you?
you get the idea. It was, and it just goes on.
I already tweeted it out.
Good lord, what a nightmare.
Yep. Good for you.
Nuke
You know that
your
look you do where you're like you're looking at the
Muted.
floor
You're new.
and then you look up. That's the look of like when they kill John Wick's dog and he's like really sad and then it's like time to kill.
Nuke, you were muted. What comes
I'm saying like we have to clip this and make it zoom in on your face little by little as the girls are talking.
Okay.
I will make it happen.
You have my right.
You are officially a meme now.
Yeah, do it because it was painful. I should get some kind of recompense for it. So
I'm sorry.
Okay, let's continue. Random numbers and letters. Nebraska Hub is also banned in many states. I did not know that. For the $2. Thank you. Let's see. To the chickens for $2. How to get the girls be attractive, do things.
that is the past 2 hours summed up. Yes.
Hank Flamio, or Flamio, sorry. Why are unemployable deadbeat abusers irresistible? I don't know. Why are they, Nuke?
I did because. Wow.
Ah!
I have a whole YouTube video.
Oh no, he's not Haitian, he's Dominican.
Oh yeah,
Totally
sorry, bud.
Dang.
It was our Independence Day 2 days ago or yesterday. Yesterday? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. PJ Cornell for the $5. A majority of my girlfriends were more or less obsessed with me. That in no way decreased the level of bullshit.
That's interesting. That would be a whole different discussion because, yeah, I had gals that were totally into me and they were financial train wrecks. So that's That's more relationship management.
That's how they get you. Blow job, and all of a sudden,
Handling
I'm sorry.
women's bullshit is a skill issue, though.
Oh, bleh. How the hell do I... Reen, thank you. Schwartzer. Most men are not what women want, hence all this ridiculous logic and effort. Now, the hard part, do men have time to actually do it? I'm busy surviving.
I'm very sympathetic to especially young men today who have to pay rent and living expenses that you may not have time to do all this. And he's 100% true. That being said, it makes my point. If you don't have the time to go to the gym, you don't have time for women. And so maybe focus on other things at that moment in time.
There we go. Rain Schwartzer again for the 199. Most relationships are not success stories today.
Obviously.
That's correct.
Plop plop for the 200 rupees. More de-enshitification funds. What did you do this time?
Nothing. That's he's not wrong. Like there's enshitification where corpo bros come in and like we're gonna take over a company and we're just gonna cut expenses and it comes at the cost of long-term customer loyalty. So those companies tend to go down. You see that, like, we're implementing DEI. So he's not wrong. So the de-enshitification funds, more traditional term would be turnaround funds, where you have a company that's been ran into the ground and you get somebody who like is a normal guy who has common sense and turns it all around. Look at Stellantis if you may want to see a de-enshitification process.
Okay. Hank O'Flamio, again for the $5. How do you explain all of the out-of-shape men with women if being shape is a prerequisite? Because white trash breeds as well.
I'm going to say it's like money and they're there for some other alternative reason. You could see a woman with a guy. That doesn't mean when he shows up at her place, she's in lingerie and cooking him food. Just because you see him. Like, you see that in
sometimes
Vegas,
girls fatten him up too, right? Like, you might not have started that way. Girls love fattening you up.
That's true too, but yeah, and then two, where is it? Most of the relationships you see, it's like fancy cars. The bank owns it. They're not actually rich. Most of the relationships, just because they're together, they're likely miserable, to be perfectly honest. So that's why you could see someone out of shape with another gal. She's not happy.
Okay. Sure. Robert Archer for the generous 20. Bull of the woods mentality. Pick up 10-foot telephone pole sections on a daily basis. Be so indomitable you can turn a herd around. You can do it with an axe handle. Alarm clock will be a pleasant. Have a good day, Mr. Cappy.
Robert Archer is basically Thor's North Dakota twin.
Damn.
So Thor, but he does farm stuff and ranch stuff. Thor does electrical stuff, but those two are pretty much the twins separated at birth.
Okay. Ryan Schwartzer again with a $9.99. Thank you very much. Missing a bit of the chicken or the egg. If you had 80s women as the standard, more guys would go to the gym. True. I think many go outside, see options, and lose motivation. Granted, their motivation is girls. Well, that's true. I mean, the average gym girl looks like Mewtwo, and I mean, let's be honest here. That's the
I don't know
most
if I agree with
appealing.
that, though, to be honest.
I will. I mean, most motivation.
More for me. Like, dude, if you don't want to go out and talk to women, more for us. Like, choice is yours, bro. If it's too much work, then don't worry. We'll take them off your hands.
Yeah, but what exactly? There are good look. He's 100% right. Where what the fuck, I think of everything guys do for girls. Like, I would have never gone to college for girls. I would never gone to college. Like, all the cars everyone buys. Like, yeah, the motivation is huge. And I've said it a million times before. You want the economy to start booming again? Make women thin again, and you're going to see the economy boom.
Yep. MLJ for the $9.99. The Art of Being Irresistible is the best thing I read germane to this topic. Thank you, Cappy, for making me aware of the author. It was Cairo Copeland again. He reminds me of you sometimes. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Cairo, yes. I didn't know he wrote that book. I haven't read that one on Cairo by Cairo, but his Riches from Bitches is a good book. I was laughing.
Oh, he just gave you a super chat as well. By the way, I told you, right? Just get past February, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Look at all the super chats you're getting. Your channel's doing great.
You're right. Yeah, you're 100%.
Told you. Ryan Schwartzer again for the $4.99. Before men didn't see the ROI today, we have a much better idea of the ROI. As a Christian man, there's a lot of hurdles to even starting, frankly. Yeah.
Your number one problem is you're trying to date Christian women.
Yeah. There are no Christian women.
Yeah, in the West.
Oh, man.
What?
that could be a whole other topic, but I had a guy DM me yesterday. He didn't even sleep with his wife before marrying him because they were good Christians. They kissed one time, honeymoon, found out she just wasn't into sex. And 16 years later, he's hit me up about his shitty sex life. And,
gone.
Like
that's that, Ryan. That should be in your 4th book. That's a great case study right there.
You're
actually probably, I think there is. There was one in I think it was Frame even, where the guy was engaged, got married, didn't conjugate the marriage for like 2 years.
Oh no,
That's just sad.
Just not happening.
Okay, Hanko Flamio for the generous $20. How much to watch these gentlemen eat their own dog food via IRL streaming? I could read this advice for free a decade ago. If this worked, there would be no inkwells by now. Funny you should say that, Hank, because thank you for all the generous donations you have already made, because clearly the advice was already worth the $50 you donated.
I'm going to point out that I do appreciate Hank's contributions. But this is why I had to do this video. Hank's 100% right. This information has been out there forever. I mean, 20, 25 years. Why do I keep still getting people asking me about, oh, should I have this type of car? Should I wear a blue shirt? Should I break my legs and extend it? I think that's where maybe I'm just pissing into the hurricane, and
Laziness.
men are going to have the perfect mental state where it's like, I will get the girls as long as it takes no work, but that's the only way I'm going to take the girls. So we'll forever be in a, well, let's sell you the magic pill or the magic words and we can make lots of money. I just don't have the patience for it. It's like, look, you either want women or you don't. And if, it's the same thing with women. Ladies, you either want a guy or you don't. So you're either thin or you're not. Men, you either go to the gym or you don't. And yeah, you're right, Hank. This has been around for a while, but thus, why do we even have to have this episode? I'd like to think that having this episode would be the final end all, and I'll never get these questions again. But I have a feeling the human nature is they're going to keep squirming and looking for the easy way out that doesn't exist.
We'll always have a job, Cappy.
There we go.
I know.
Reinvent Ideal Cairo Copeland for the generous 20. Cappy, when you get a client asking how do I get the girls out without doing any work, just tell them what I tell them. Let all the air out of her tires, then show up later with an air pump. Fair point.
I don't want to even do that.
No.
Thanks,
Seeds
Cairo.
D
And by the way, everyone go check out Cairo Copeland's books.
There we go. Seeds D for the $1.99. Sartain's Mod here. Why'd you leave, Cappy? Did you actually get up and leave?
Yeah. Well, okay. All right. I was going to leave early anyway because those shows go a little late. And I know this may shock you guys, but there's adult responsible time and then there's podcaster time. And do you think any of these girls showed up on time?
No.
Or the other people? No, right. So I was already I had like a hard out at like 9:30 or something like that. But it was Fresh and Fit earned every penny of their millions of dollars having to babysit these insufferable women. And you saw me like stuck between those two girls, and they weren't even the worst. The other one was this blonde gal that wouldn't shut up. It's maddening. It was just maddening.
Did you at least rage quit the show and be like, I'm out of here? And like,
no, I
down?
politely said, thank you. It's been fun and I have to go. But that was
Ooh,
right
shut him down like it was a date.
Yeah,
I'll call you.
I basically said, you watch the first 43 minutes or whatever, from 29 to say 43. That's, I guess, where I leave. But they basically were asking, well, what advice would you give your son? And I said, I would tell none of my sons, my son would never date any one of you, and I would rather die than marry a single one of you. And then I kind of left on that note. And I say, thank you very much. I have to go. And there were, forget what was even being said. They were horrible adult children that could not sit down and have a conversation. So it was like, I'm getting out of here. I don't have time to hang out with children.
Yeah. Let's
so
go.
You didn't make the callback for Love is Blind is what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Cappy won't know what I'm talking about. Like,
Prince Revolver Magnum Opus for the $2. They all sound like they're swallowing marbles. Wow.
What does that even mean?
Oh,
Okay.
you know when you... Yeah, never mind.
Oh, wait, you have experience with this?
No, I know the expression, but I was setting myself up for it. I'm like, don't, just shut up.
Wait, the girls were Cuban?
Nah. No. Chrome with the $2. Thank you very much. Cappy, plan to make Zero World Problems audiobook. I thought you would have had it out in 2 weeks.
The guy is sick and he's got work. And all that.
If you only knew.
Yeah.
Somebody who wasn't
Yes.
sick all the
Yes.
time and
Yes.
a bitch.
Yes. Anyway, it is
How
coming
the
out. It
turns
is
have tabled.
coming out an Audible book. Just so you know, all my books will be in audio going forward. If for any other reason Amazon has it where they can do an AI translation. It's not perfect, but but every book henceforth will have an audio version. And I think that's it.
No, those were all of them. Those were
All right.
all of them.
All right,
Well-
Jack, take us out.
Toodles.
Toodles.